everyone, it's Nova, and welcome back to Cupid. In the last episode, I raged a lot. I gotta admit, I raged a lot. Between the constant, interruptions because of noise, and then because of several characters that we met. Our main protagonist, the Rose Girl, she has like a disembodied voice in the back of her head, her mother, quote unquote, and I don't know, I don't like the woman, I gotta be honest. She's very temperamental. One minute she's like very kind and loving and whatnot, and then the other minute she's so abrasive towards the Rose Girl. And then we have the three court women that the Rose Girl stumbled upon at this afternoon party, who were treating her like absolute shit. And then handsome dude here stepped over, and I think this is actually our love interest, because it does look like the guy that's on the cover of on the title page of the game. And not to mention that the Rose Girl kind of got very quiet and bashful once he came over here, so I do think that this is our love interest. And I had to actually look up how to pronounce his name online, because I figured this name is going to be coming up quite a lot, and it confused me because when I looked up the pronunciation of the name, it's more associated with the region of Spain and not France. Like, there's a different spelling for the French version of this name. So, for all intents and purposes, I'm going to actually be pronouncing it the way I guess it's pronounced in Spain. So, forgive me if this is actually incorrect. I had no way of knowing otherwise. And if there's anybody who's French that's watching this video, you know, if you're from France, Canada, or any of those regions that speak it, please, by all means, correct my pronunciation. I have no problems with you guys doing that, because I honestly don't know. I never took French when I was in high school or middle school. I actually took Spanish. So sometimes I can kind of guess my way through certain words and things, but I'll be appreciative of it, I'll be honest. But in any event, let's get going and see what these bitches have to say. Oh, Sir Galim. Now, you need a debonair voice. Like, you need to have not too deep of a voice, but not too feminine of a voice. I came just to check in on my esteemed guest. Is everything alright? Are you enjoying yourselves? Oh, for God's sake. One of the ladies started fanning herself with obvious annoyance. Well, these little beasts have been harassing us. Yes, my lord. We were just minding our own business when this girl swiped the food off our table. Horrible little nits. The girl stuck her tongue out at them. Yeah, ugh. A lady wiped her eyes in mock tears. See? Look at that. It's up. It's obviously monstrous how these children act around adults now. There's no respect, monsieur. I worry for the next generation. Oh, Charlotte, don't cry. Well, my lord, we would all breathe a little easier if those children were sent on their way. Yes, who knows what kind of mischief they might be up to. Who's talking? They might set fire to the tables, you see. What are they, dragons? Oh. Or it's too early in the chapter for this. It's too early in the episode for this. Or steal our jewelry. In fact, I think my pocket watch is missing. No, how unfortunate. One of the ladies continued with her childish wailing. It is, monsieur. It is unfortunate how you allow your important guests to be treated this way. Please deal with these vermin. Throw them out now. Oh, my sweet ladies, I am stricken with grief at your misfortunes. allow me to offer my heartfelt apologies. Unfortunately, this child is my important guest today, and you are, sad to say, poultry squatters. Okay, I love this guy. I love this guy. I love him. Excuse me? Madame Charlotte of I've heard of this region before. Fortunately, I don't know how to pronounce it. Montpellier? I don't remember sending you an invite. Oh, he called you out. He called you out. Oh, wow. Same for you, Lady Antoinette of Reims and Lady Claudette of Leon. Most people I invited are huge patrons of music. That is why they are here today. They came to listen to Mademoiselle Catherine Louise Perrides. Oh, this is who she is. Okay. She is the 7-year-old piano prodigy who played for the Queen last summer. Oh. In your face. The man pointed at the girl, busy chewing her half of the bread. The Rose Girl just stared at the unfolding situation. Yes. What, that's... I am sure you were aware of that, were you not? No matter. I am always happy to see you, ladies. It is my pleasure to have you here. Well, I'm glad it's somebody's pleasure, because I am certainly not happy that they're here. But I hope you don't mind giving some of the food away to my townspeople. Oh, that face. That's the look of disdain. That is why I keep my gates open. You're a nice dude. You're a really nice dude. My servers are instructed to serve anyone who passes by, not just my guests. Oops. Don't you fret, my darlings. There is plenty more to be served. The ladies blushed in embarrassment. One of them began to fan herself even faster. Excuse me. The Marquis walked up to the two girls. The Rose Girl's heart beat so fast it made her head feel light and dizzy. She had never been this close to him. Aw, look at her. It made her feel a mixture... excuse me. Haven't eaten yet, if you heard my stomach just now. Guess I'm in the same boat as the Rose Girl right now. It made her feel a mixture of fear and elation. Lady Catherine, your father has been looking for you. It's almost time for your performance. The girl looked up at the Marquis and did a little curtsy. My apologies, sir. I didn't mean to cause a clatter. I forgot how you pronounce his freaking name already. Good God. Gilmay? Crap. Where are you? I need help. How do you pronounce his name again? How do you pronounce his name? This is so unprofessional. Oh God, how do you pronounce it?
Gilim.
Galim. Write that down. Galim chuckled. I saw the whole thing, ma chérie. You put those ladies in their place. Yes, she did. They were being mean to her. Galim narrowed his eyes at the quiet girl. She hid behind her basket of roses. She couldn't look at him directly. He was like the sun. It hurt just to be in his presence. Oh. Yet there was relief in her heart as he stepped closer to her. I've seen you before, haven't I? The Rose Girl nodded and made a curtsy. I deliver roses to your house sometimes, sire. Yes, the girl with the sweetest face. The Rose Girl blushed. I love your roses, by the way. They stay fresh longer than they should. You've tended to them with love. Thank you, sire. Do you have a name, young lady? What's the matter? Oh. It is all right, young lady. If you would rather... Let's call her Rosa. Rosa, it fits her. I think she forgot her name, or she lost it. The Marquis nodded wisely. A valid point. Oh crap, I skipped through some of the dialogue. I'm sorry, guys. But she has a name now, and it's Rosa. Which actually, yeah, it does suit her. She's very delicate. And she is attractive, even with her missing eye. Yes. Man, this is going very badly. I'm sorry, guys. Gizmo, what are you doing? Settle down, please. Come on, Rosa. You'll watch me play, right? Her eyes darted from the girl to the Marquis. Oh, Sir Gilly doesn't mind. Oh my god. Too cute. Gilly? He's really nice to me and my family. Gizmo, please settle down. Not now. Not now. And he helps the people around town, too. He won't throw you out. The Marquis held his right hand in the air as if swearing an oath. I won't. See? Come on. You're invited now. You're my special guest. There's plenty of food inside too, Rosa. Please help yourself. Thank you, sire. Rosa is coming! Yay! Now this is my first public performance, Rosa. I'm a bit nervous. Catherine scratched her head. What will I do if I make a mistake? Papa will be very upset. The Marquis knelt in front of Catherine and rubbed her shoulders fondly. You won't make a mistake, ma chérie. As long as you put your heart into the keys. Play to touch your audience, and any mistake won't matter. Do you understand? Catherine stared at the Marquis. Not really. The man chuckled. Why did the music stop? You will someday. Just play your first song with me in your mind, will you? Something that you'll think will make me smile. Gleam held Catherine's clear young eyes in his gaze. He kissed her hand. It was covered with sticky sugar and breadcrumbs. Catherine blushed. It was the first time she looked embarrassed by anything. Aw. It would be my pleasure, sir. Catherine trudged up to the wooden podium and walked towards the middle of the stage. The crowd's chatter died down. She curtsied in front of her audience, waved to her father, and stole a glance at Galeem. The man gave her a tiny nod. Aww. She sat down in front of the piano, admiring the cream and ebony keys underneath her fingers. Her own piano was broken and beaten. Father had sold his horse for it. The A3 key never played, and the... Really, Gizmo? The A3 key never played, and the strings would creak when it was cold. But it had never fit... Gizmo, please! But it had never failed her. She knew the keys like they were her own fingers. She whispered to the new piano softly, as if coaxing a beautiful, untamed animal. Well, I wish you would do that to Gizmo, because she doesn't seem to want to be quiet right now, right? You want to be noisy and distractive? Yeah. Well, you got to do that later, okay? I'm trying to record. Okay? Can you do that for me? Okay. Let's be friends, okay? She saw Rosa at the far end of the podium, watching her diligently. There was a renewed vigor in her blood. She could hear the keys calling out to her. A song that would make him smile. She placed her fingers on the keys. She began to play. At the ring of the first few notes, it became apparent to the audience that this girl was something special. I'm sorry, it was like I didn't even want to interrupt the music, guys. Here was a little girl, barely tall enough to reach the pedals of the piano, playing as if she owned it. Doesn't that sound nice? Yeah. There were times she missed a note or two, but that didn't matter. She played the song to make someone smile, and it touched everyone present. Her musical skill was far beyond her years. Her fingers caressed the keys as if she was making a flower crown, carefully weaving the petals. She knew the correct way to tie the leaves so they wouldn't tear, like all smart little girls did. I never actually did that when I was little. I was never really into like nature and stuff like that. As the piano sang under her hands, Catherine seemed to disappear right in front of the audience's eyes. She was just a vision after all, someone leading them down a dream. A dream of a garden, the springtime, the shade of a tree on a windy day. The couples in the audience tightened their grips on the hand of their partners. Some closed their eyes and let the music saturate their soul. Sweet memories of youth. A first love. The yawn of a newborn. Rosa's eyes shone as she stared at Catherine. Her heart was captured by this image of her. A young girl swaying her head to the music, smiling as the notes poured out of her. She couldn't take her eye away from Catherine's glowing face. Was this happiness? Was this love? She looked like she was in love. And she was, wasn't she? Oh, that's so sweet. In her innocence, she was still in love with life. In love with her family, with her pets, in love with every new discovery. She was full of hope. It was a bittersweet feeling for Rosa. A happy teardrop rolled down her cheek. She wanted to warm herself in that hope, if she could. In the audience, Galeem and Catherine's father sat beside each other. Oh, okay. So Perrides, your daughter is amazing. She is, isn't she? I mean, pardon my arrogance, my liege. I am a very proud father, you see. No pardon necessary, sire. Has she found a sponsor yet? The Duke of Versailles once spoke to me about it, but we haven't made any arrangements. And then I must steal her away as soon as possible. Sire? I'd like to be Catherine's primary sponsor, if that's all right with you. Why, sire? And to further cement my status, that piano she's playing right now, it is hers. I bought it for her. Oh. I just realized I said Francis. It's Francois. I'm so sorry. Francois' eyes widened in astonishment. That is... Francois gulped. That is beyond generous, sire. Galeem smiled. Well, I must make it hard for you to refuse me, you see. I took the opportunity of asking you outright. You see, the Duke might offer an extravagant piano plated in gold. In that case, I have no choice but to humbly concede. What? I am kidding. The Duke of Versailles is the worst miser you will ever meet. The men chuckled. Of course, I shall be paying for her musical tutoring as required, along with an ample stipend to accommodate your family. You don't have to look so surprised, Monsieur Perrides. Your daughter is a star. There is an effervescence about her that enraptures the soul. There is no doubt in my mind that she will succeed. Thank you deeply, my liege. Please, call me by my name, monsieur. Let me remind you, this generosity isn't without charge. Her tutoring will be done at my house. I want to monitor her progress. Apart from that, I very much like Catherine to visit me and play from time to time. Music is one of my true passions. Her presence would benefit my mood tenfold. Of course, sire. That is a small price to pay for all your offers. On the contrary, monsieur. You don't have to decide now. Kindly think about it. Thank you, my lord, Sir Galim. After the performance, Catherine and Rosa went to the Marquis' garden to play. Francois and Galim lingered on their table, sorting out the details of Catherine's further education. Emile Perrides walked around the crowd, searching for a familiar face. She had arrived halfway through Catherine's performance. Okay, I was wondering who she was, and she looks like her. She arrived halfway through Catherine's performance, just in time to gush at her little sister's applause. Unfortunately, she couldn't find her father in the crowd. When she finally caught sight of the back of his head, she approached him hastily. Father, there you are. I've been looking all over for you. Oh, Emily, Jesus, what did I say earlier? Emily stopped as she saw the man her father was talking to. It was none other than the Marquis himself. She fixed her hair self-consciously and curtsied. My lord, pardon my intrusion. I didn't realize... Galim smiled at her kindly. You are free to intrude any time, my lady. Emily smiled back. Just as the rumor said, the Marquis was easy on the eyes. Yes, he is. To whom do I owe the pleasure of your acquaintance? This is my eldest daughter, Emily. Pardon me for not introducing her sooner. Charmed. Galim offered her a seat. Emily sat down across the man. Well, it seems talents and good looks run in the family. Francois rubbed his neck. Yes, my daughters are my pride and joy. Thankfully, they both took after their mother. Surely not, Monsieur Perrides. The eyes are yours, earnest and loving eyes. Emily snorted at such sappy words. Her father was clearly basking in the compliments. If this really was the famous Galim the rumors talked about, then he wasn't exactly much of a charmer, was he? She didn't know what all the fuss was about. The ladies in the house she worked for could not seem to stop talking about this man. Admittedly, there was something morbidly curious about the way he looked at people. Like he was always distracted and could only say words that were expected of him. I'm pleased to have finally met you, sire. I've heard a lot about you on my travels. All good things, I hoped. Depends on the tabloid and the day of the week. Emily thought to herself and chuckled. You are a governess, I was told. Where do you work? With the Dimitri household, sire. Ah, yes, I've heard you were marrying into the family soon. Oh, Father, I told you not to tell anyone yet. I didn't, but you know how people talk. Word travels fast. Pardon the comment then, my lady. Please. Your betrothed is a lucky man, I'm sure. The conversation endured through the afternoon. Small talk, musical composers, their little town, Catherine's musical background, Francois' students, Emily's work. Emily played with her napkin, offering droll opinions on the particularly droll topics. All throughout the exchange, Emily observed the infamous Marquis de Gul. This was him? The audacious, shameless flirt of the royal court and tabloids? According to rumors, he was able to bed both the widowed Countess of Devonshire and her daughter. At the same... Whoa. This guy's a freak. At the same time. And even had a tumultuous relationship with the... And open-minded, okay. With the Prince of Garnet. He didn't limit himself to royalty, or so the tabloid said. Gizmo, let go of my mouse, please. His latest fling was with an English poet, who they said almost killed him when he was caught with another man. Or woman. At this point, who knew what was real and what was a blatant lie made up by the newspapers? She had looked forward to meeting him, and here he was finally. Talking about sampling the new bakery's creme brulee. She couldn't say she was disappointed exactly, but the Marquis was a depressingly normal man. Maybe even boring, Emily ventured. She watched as his gaze flickered across her hair and her nose before lazily trailing away. How infuriating. She wondered if he would suddenly say something coy, or insist to dance with her. Just something outrageous. Honestly, just so she could shoot him down. This man who everyone was interested in. That would be a small victory for reasonable women everywhere. But the Marquis was nothing but polite. He did not ogle. He did not touch unnecessarily. No audacious gestures or suggestive winks of the eye. He would not even look at her for more than 2 seconds. Maybe she was not pretty enough to flirt with? Okay, that is certainly not true, Emily. He just has some decency about him. Emily bit her lip. She shouldn't be thinking that. Yes, exactly. But there were also times that he would quietly look into her eyes when the conversation lulled. When the words spoken were without meaning, their eyes would converse further. To Emily, he started to look lonely underneath, the facade of caprice. He seemed tired of all the gallivanting, the rumors, and the numerous flings. We are all a little lonely, aren't we? Getting too real, game. Perhaps even he. He invited the family over to his chateau and commented on how empty the building felt sometimes. Music was his guilty pleasure. It got him through the cold nights, he said with a sad grin. How he wouldn't mind a warm soul to touch. And before she could stop herself, Emily had begun to imagine his lips on her neck. On one of those cold nights. Emily shook her head, trying to erase the thoughts in her mind. They were having a perfectly mundane conversation. She didn't know where those thoughts came from. Fortunately, her father didn't seem to notice. Music and loneliness struck a nerve with Francois Perrides. He had immersed himself in his music tutoring, his students, and Catherine, ever since his wife had gotten sick. It had been 6 years. Oh, wow. And Catherine's only 7. Oh dear. but sometimes the nights were cold. For Francois, the Marquis was speaking to his soul. He was a kindred spirit. He wasn't a pompous showboat like all the other royalty Catherine had played for. The Marquis even had a wine collection he wanted to show Francois. Such a down-to-earth, generous young man. Emily, your face is flushed. Are you alright? I'm fine. Just the sun, probably. This was not true, of course. The afternoon sun had already lost most of its heat. Thankfully, Catherine provided a distraction. She ran across their little huddle and flung her arms around her father's torso, chatting happily about gardens and butterflies. A young ragged girl followed behind her. Emily wasn't sure how old the girl was. Her dirty blonde hair hid the left side of her face. You could just see faint traces of scars peeking through. A surge of motherly affection caught hold of her heart. "Hello there, young lady." The girl looked down at her toes, but she gave a shy smile. Why do I keep adding words where they're not? "I see you've made a crown of roses. You look very pretty." "Thank you, madame. Catherine gave it to me." "Sister, this is Rosa. She's really nice. She knows the names of all the flowers in Sir Gilly's gardens." "Catherine, there you go again with your silly names." "Sister, help me convince Papa to let Rosa stay with us." "Catherine." "Papa, please, let her stay with us. Please let her stay with us. She doesn't have anywhere to go." "Now, Catherine, that's not very nice. Rosa here is a girl. She's not a kitten you can just pluck from the street and take home like you always do with stray animals. Goodness knows we have all the stray cats of France living in our house." "Gizmo, what are you doing?" Did that offend you, that comment just now? "Yes, I know she's not a kitten. I know she's a girl. But shouldn't we take her home ever more so? Even more so?" Francois sighed. Galim chuckled under his breath. He was clearly enjoying this exchange. "Your daughter has some very unique views, Sir Perrides." Well, Sir Gilly, what do you think? Well, Sir Gilly, what do you think?" "Huh?" Galim's face lost his casual bystander look. "You're a Marquis. I'm sure my father would follow your orders, right? Shouldn't we take Rosa home?" Galim's brows furrowed at being put on the spot so suddenly. He stole a glance at Francois, who was silently pleading with his eyes not to humor the child. He cleared his throat. "Well, I'm sure it's up to your father since he owns the house. He will have to clothe and feed Rosa, you see." "Yes, but I've got that all figured out. Ever since Sister moved to work, nobody minds the house anymore. And I have to wash the dishes every time. Ugh. Yeah, I hear you, girl. I hate washing the dishes. That's my least favorite chore to do." "Papa is so busy, and we always have enough food for the two of us. If Rosa stays, then I wouldn't be so lonely on my own. She'll wear Sister's old clothes, and will mind the house when both Sister and Father are away. She can wash the dishes sometimes, and I'll wash them sometimes." Galim and Francois shared a look. "And besides, if it were up to me, I'd have people take one girl home in their house and give her food. Girls don't even eat that much. Not sure about boys." She thought for a bit. "But I'm sure it's not too much that people can take her home too. One time I ate one whole plate of potatoes and my stomach hurt. If Rosa was there, I wouldn't have eaten so much." "Maybe." I love Catherine. Galim couldn't help but laugh. Francois rubbed his neck in embarrassment. "I'm so sorry, sire. She's very headstrong. Father, I'm sure taking Rosa in wouldn't be much trouble for us financially, yes? My new work pays better. I'm sure we can adjust. Well, about that, perhaps if Rosa works in my household, it wouldn't be much of a burden to your family, Sir Perrides. Oh. Sir Gilly is great. You are truly a kind soul, sire. Not at all. I'm sure I need her help more than she needs mine. Isn't that right, Rosa? Aww. In that case, I would love to offer my home to Rosa. Although I am still worried that this is supposed to be more complicated, sire. What about her family or her friends? Are we violating any laws, perhaps? I'm not even sure. Gizmo, please, not now. As long as it's consensual, sire, the details can be smoothed out later. The girl was quiet the whole time. She was looking at her toes, or at Catherine. Rosa, do you have any family? Relatives or... Oh, sorry, I thought this was the girl for a second. Rosa, do you have any family? Relatives or family you stay with? No, sire. My mother... Confirmed. My mother died a long time ago. But she guides me always. So please don't be compelled to mind me. No, don't go back to the streets, Rosa. It's September. It's going to be really cold soon. Sir Gilly will even give you work. Stay with us. But Catherine... Francois sighed in surrender. All right. She can stay for the night. Papa! Just for tonight. Then we'll see if she wants to stay for longer. Finally, some nice people. God, after that first episode, my goodness. Catherine, you cannot hold people in their place just because you want them there. Do you understand? If Rosa wants to leave, she may leave. You cannot keep her like an object. Galeem cleared his throat. That is sound advice, Sir Perrides. Yes, Papa, I understand. Rosa, please make yourself comfortable in our house, in our home. Thank you. Papa is the best. Yes, he is. Catherine turned to Galeem again. Sir Gilly, don't you think if everyone with a house takes one person home, nobody would freeze in winter? You should make it into a law. They'll obey you because you're a Marquis. And because you're tall. What does that have to do with anything? Oh, you sweet child. Oh, so people obey my orders because I am tall. What a compliment. Well, you're taller than my papa, at least. He'll never be a Marquis. Francois pulled on his daughter's ear with embarrassment. Catherine, mind your manners. I'm so sorry, sire. Galeem shook his head, his eyes trailing over the Perrides family. Emily watched him curiously. That same sadness once again surfaced for the briefest moment. You have a lovely family, sire. I am quite jealous. You make me want to settle down myself someday. He chuckled. Maybe. Emily's heart skipped a beat. Did he just look at her when he said that? She couldn't be sure. Catherine is perfect the way she is. It is one of the reasons why I'm very invested in her. Oh, this is so precious. Galeem knelt down so that he was eye to eye with Catherine. He patted her head. You're a very intelligent and kind-hearted girl, Catherine. You are a star. This is so cute. I almost want to make this my thumbnail. Maybe I will. Mon était. Someday I know you will change the world. At least I'd like to see you try. Mother. Help me. What the hell's going on, Rosa? My chest. I can't breathe. No. What the hell is going... This just went a complete 180. What is this? Catherine!